Live, local, late breaking. This is Channel 11 News on Fox 53.
A huge turnout tonight, a show of support in an emotional vigil for 3 people killed in a deadly flood on Washington Boulevard. Good evening, I'm Gordon Lesh. We want to bring you up to speed on the very latest details on the aftermath from Friday's flood. A major development tonight, we've learned that Pittsburgh officials plan to meet this week. The Wall Street Journal says they'll consider a warning system and road closures in advance of flooding. And they'll also talk about increasing sewer line capacity in the aftermath of the flood on Washington Boulevard that killed 4 people. Tonight, family and friends gathered at Center Elementary School in Plum to pay tribute to Kimberly Griffith and her daughters, Brenna and Michaela. Channel 11's Dave Bondi was with them.
More than 100 friends, family, and classmates gather at Michaela Griffith's school to remember the Griffith family. Several children tearfully tell stories about Michaela, Brenna, and their mom, Kimberly. It was an emotional evening. Chris Griffith watched from a distance. A friend of the family tells us that this vigil has helped him grieve the loss of his wife and 2 girls.
Chris's family and Kim's family, the Madiak family, are both very touched by this show of love and support from the people in this community.
Take it with you for a long time.
This tragedy has hit the Plum community hard. 12-year-old Brenna and 8-year-old Michaela were loved by everyone they met. We talked to several of their friends.
Michaela was my best friend. I mean, she came over every morning at 10 in the morning. She called every day. I mean, it was just like she was my sister.
Always intrigued by the littlest things and always up for a good time. You know, I've been to the beach with it. We've been on vacation together so many times. It's always, like, Brenna's always so entertaining. She's like my little sister.
2 employees from the Penn Hills School District also spoke.
Or anything at all like their mom.
They talked about Kimberly. She worked as a nurse in that district. Now, those who knew Kimberly describe her as a woman willing to help anyone at any time.
She did everything for her family, her kids, Scouts, Brownies, Girl Scouts, church, school. She did it all.
The Griffith family has asked for their privacy. 14-year-old Christian Griffith approached me at the vigil, telling me how much he loved his sisters and mom and how this vigil has helped with the grieving process. Now, counselors will be available at Center Elementary and at O'Block Junior High School tomorrow and Tuesday. Dave Bondi, Channel 11 News on Fox 53.
Neighbors in Griffith's tight-knit community are struggling to come to terms with the loss of the woman and her children. Neighbors invited us in where they were gathered this afternoon going through pictures they have of the Griffith family. They told us the neighborhood does a lot together and that Kimberly Griffith was a generous woman who will be greatly missed.
If anything about Kimberly that I learned was that she was one of those people that had such a strong faith in God and truly lived what she believed and passed that on to her children.
Neighbors have set up a fund to help the family with expenses. Donations can be made at any S&T bank. The 4th victim from the flooding on Washington Boulevard was 72-year-old Mary Saflin of Oakmont. Her body was found yesterday. Saflin was remembered in her Oakmont neighborhood as someone who was often seen walking around the neighborhood, and she would help those around her with everything from playing bingo to volunteer service.
Helped me clean my car off in the winter. Looked out for things going on in the neighborhood. Always walked the avenue. So nice.
An autopsy showed that Saflin died from blunt force trauma. Now to severe weather team 11 coverage. Heavy rains passing through Pittsburgh and all over the area throughout the day. This is what it looked like this afternoon in the North Hills. Meteorologist Kevin Benson has been tracking the rain. And Kevin, we're hearing now things are looking good for the start of the work week.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be comfortable as we head into the first part of the week, but right now still a few lingering showers. Let me show you where they are. Generally in Westmoreland County right now. You can see that action right there, not far from Donegal. In fact, Ligonier, there's some thunder, lightning, heavy downpours occurring there. You can take a look, if you will, at the showers that are just headed to the east-southeast, and here are some of the communities that this will be running into, including Stallstown and Crager. That'll be be moving in your direction here in short order. But again, I wanted to show you too that the progression of these storms is on to the east, and once this moves through, that should just about wrap up the showers. That's going to be pretty much the end of it right there. Here is a quick look at what we're dealing with. You can see that there's a front just set to clear the area, and now the next matter of business is going to be showers wrapping up as that front moves through. Better weather is on the way. We'll talk more about cooler temperatures, a cool breeze, and some cool overnight lows coming up just ahead here on Channel 11 News on Fox 53.
Only on 11 at Fox 53, a standoff in East Carnegie ends with 3 people under arrest. Police say it began as a home invasion earlier tonight on Bell Avenue. 2 men broke into the home and tried to rob the owner while a woman waited outside in a getaway car. No one in the home was hurt. New at 10, crews are working to fix a water main break in Sharpsburg. It happened along School Street. This is the second break in that area in less than 2 months. 2 houses have been flooded. We're working to find out when that road should reopen. 2 people are in the hospital after a quad accident in Fayette County. This happened just before 7 in North Union. Police say the quad and a van crashed into each other on Cool Spring Street. Crews have since cleared the area. No word on the victim's condition. A Canonsburg man is behind bars after a road rage incident. Police say Martin Reynolds pointed a handgun at another driver on I-70 in Canton Township. He faces numerous assault and endangerment charges. Reynolds is being held in Washington County on $10,000 bond. An update now to a story we've been following since 6. A man rushed to the hospital from an Oakland pool is recovering tonight. Officials told us the man, possibly in his 90s, was found unresponsive in the pool at the Pittsburgh Athletic Association in Oakland. They believe he may have suffered a medical condition while swimming. Now to the black and gold zone. Terrell Pryor as a future Steeler. We've learned he sat down earlier today with team officials on the south side. Channel 11's Rich Walsh broke the story this afternoon. It comes just a day after Pryor showcased his talents to several other NFL teams. Bill Phillips here now with how Pryor could be a real asset. Bill?
Gordon, the Steelers talked with Pryor for roughly 2 hours this afternoon at their complex on the south side. The question is now, will the Steelers try and draft the former Jeanette High School and Ohio State star in the supplemental draft, which is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon? Pryor held his pro day yesterday and impressed with times of 4.3 in the 40-yard dash. And according to reports, he threw the ball well. He wants to play quarterback in the NFL, but he says he'll do whatever he needs to help the team that selects him win. Some people think he may move to receiver. Now, coming up later in sports, Rich Walsh talks with Steelers' Antonio Brown on how he thinks Pryor will do if he joins the NFL. I'm Bill Phillips, Channel 11 News on Fox 53.
They talked about being prepared so they wouldn't have their baby on the side of the road. Little did the family know that's exactly what would happen. Their story just ahead. Hitting the field to honor an officer wounded in the line of duty. Our crews take you to the event. Plus, the major changes about to go into effect for thousands of drivers on Route 28. Next.
Channel 11 News continues in high definition with Gordon Lesh, Kevin Benson, and Bill Phillips. News coverage you can count on.
The construction project along Route 28 between the 40th Street and 16th Street bridges is about to get more complicated. After this weekend, drivers will notice a change, and it will be in effect for a few years. Starting at 8 p.m. Monday, southbound traffic on Route 28 will be reduced to a single lane between the 40th Street Bridge and the Chestnut Street overpass. That's from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. on weeknights through September 6th. Police arrest a man after they say he showed up drunk at the Pittsburgh Police Training Academy. The charges were filed against recruit Brett Nelson. He showed up for class 2.5 hours late today, and according to the criminal complaint, he had a strong odor of alcohol and mouthwash. They took him to the hospital, and police say he registered .16 on the breath test, twice the legal limit. Police say Nelson admitted to driving to the training academy. He was taken to jail and charged with driving under the influence. The Red Cross is helping a Turtle Creek family tonight who were forced out by a fire. This is cell phone video we received of the flames. The fire started around 4 this afternoon on Maple Avenue. Crews stuck around once the fire was put out to clear some of the debris left behind. You can see the severe damage done to the second floor and roof. An adult and 6 children had to be evacuated. Still no word on what caused that fire. A new plan promises to help those who can't afford internet service. Target 11 consumer investigator Robin Taylor will tell us who qualifies for the plan and how it works. A local couple welcomes the birth of their new baby, yet they couldn't get to the hospital in time. The dramatic story of their roadside birth next.
Still a few showers and heavier downpours crossing certain neighborhoods. I'll show you where they are, where they're headed with Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. Then we're going to talk about cooler, more comfortable weather moving in. And my extended forecast looks all the way through next weekend. That's all coming up next right here on the 10 o'clock news. Stay with us.
More local news tonight. A baby that couldn't wait, born in a car on the Parkway North. Matt and Conchita Richards invited us into the hospital this afternoon to introduce us to their new bundle of joy and share their amazing story. The Parkway North looks nothing like a delivery room, but that didn't stop this little newborn from making an early entrance into the world.
Pretty much when we got on 279, she realized we weren't going to make it to the hospital. Of course, I thought she was exaggerating and being dramatic.
Matt and Conchita Richards were at home in Cranberry Saturday night when Mom went into labor and called her doctor.
I called him and I said, I don't think we're going to make it.
The couple were headed to West Penn Hospital in Bloomfield, but only made it to the Camp Horn exit on the Parkway North. That's when a 911 operator said it was time to pull over.
One push, Isabella's head came out. 2 pushes, Isabella was out, and I just kind of caught her.
Matt used his shoelace to tie off the umbilical cord.
My buddy actually texted me. He said, I hope you caught the baby better than you do a fly ball in the outfields.
An ambulance was there within minutes, as well as their doctor, who drove out to personally check on Mom and baby.
He was wonderful, stopped to make sure we were okay, and then met us at the hospital.
Instincts just kind of took over, and so I don't even hardly remember holding the head and helping her deliver. It's just kind of such an adrenaline dump, and then we were blessed with a healthy baby.
Isabella arrived at West Penn in perfect health, weighing 7 pounds, 3 ounces. The Jefferson Hills Rec Board held a softball tournament today to benefit an officer hurt while on duty. Officer James Kuzak responded to a call in Clarendon where he was shot 5 times by 2 suspects. Today, 8 teams competed in this tournament held at Andrew Riley Park. Each team paid a $150 entry fee. There's also food, raffles, and auctions.
There's gift certificates. There are like Thomas Jefferson wine glasses. Marabella donated it's a boutique. They a purse and some earrings.
All proceeds went to the Officer James Kuzak Benefit Fund. Today marks the end of the annual America's 9/11 Fountain Ride. Thousands of motorcycle riders made it to New York City for its conclusion. The ride started at the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville. From there, they went to the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. and concluded with a wreath-laying ceremony at Ground Zero. Hundreds lined the streets as the cyclists arrived.
We're here to celebrate all the men and women who courageously died, and we just felt we owed it to them to come down and give them tribute for the sacrifices they made for this country.
Nearly 3,000 riders participated, 1 for every person who died in the terrorist attacks.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast in high definition.
Thank you for having us on tonight. The 10 on Fox 53. And that's the latest.